Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for stopping in. I wanted to make this video piggybacking off of my last video. Um, it's come to my understanding that narcissist or someone is claiming that I text them with one word answers or just making it appear as though we are connected and in communication. Um, I have not texted a narcissist or anyone who is doing negative along with him who's been recruited. Um, I text one person. The last person I text was to help them understand the manipulation that was going on. And I've decided not to text that person anymore because it will be distorted into something else. A narcissist creates suspicion in everyone involved. This is how they keep control. This is how they keep you doubting yourself and any relationships in your life. It's a distortion of your healthy way of thinking and being with other people. Um, I'm also making the video, to make sure that people understand. If you watch my first two videos, you'll understand why I'm saying this. Um, I do not have any social media. The narcissist has created several profiles with my picture, my name, and I've been attacked online or in my life due to him pretending to be me. The only social media I have is this one that I'm speaking on right now. Uh, the narcissist will continue chaos for years if you allow it. They thrive in chaos. It's a pathological tunnel vision. Normally, the narcissist is using the target to gauge their own lives. It's not a simple being inspired by you or amused. They literally want to copy you, switch lives with you, destiny swap. Destiny swapping can't happen if it's in fact your destiny. The universe makes sure that regardless, of any rerouting that narcissistic people attempt to do. I don't fear the narcissist. I never have. I move as normal. They do try to distort your reality. They try to isolate you. They want control of everyone in your life. And in fact, a narcissistic person is using the target as a bait in order to pull in that validation, in order to continue the delusion in their head. Again, they play three roles: the predator, the chaos creator, antagonist, then the victim, then the hero. Um, Now, if you are not immediately in the direct line of fire, you won't understand how all of this is planned around you. If you move on happy or your sense of reality intact and you know who you are, comfortable in your own skin, this bothers the narcissist greatly because all their attempts have failed. And though they can distort everyone around you, they can't particularly distort the target themselves. And this is because they understand who you are. A narcissist carries entities that knows your purpose. They know who you are, and it's a challenge to them. And if they lose, they feel they lose rather if you are living your life as normal. And this is why I don't react. At times, I respond if I definitely have to. Otherwise, I don't engage in the game, in the harem, in the distortion. Narcissists like to hoard people and take everyone from you because these are people who are helping him live in that delusion. Most of the times, they're very insecure people. It's so deeply insecure that It can affect other people as though they are insecure. It kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies, and I've seen a lot of people shake it off and feel that energy, and that's because it's very demonic. It's You don't think anything of it at the time, but when you feel that dark energy, you're literally feeling a demonic energy, and it's telling you something is our first instinct. Now, the narcissist will use childhood, pulling on your heartstrings. They never heal. They never plan to. They pretend. For example, the narcissist will bring up my childhood in order to try and place me back into an unhealed state. As I mentioned before, once you're healed, you can't go back. They don't want to put the work in. They rather others regulate their emotions for them. So a lot of times his own childhood would be used various times consistently, where they pull on your heartstrings, and how this group today, which is ironic because the people who have been recruited as accomplice or pulled in with different narratives and stories, lies and manipulation, they were not part of the narcissist's life when he was young. So the story is about how he was teased due to how he dressed, or how he was different, or how he looked. Um, those are all things that he uses in order to anger people, in order to win people over, and constantly seeking this pity and sorrow from people. And the one who actually went through a lot of things um, as a child was myself. And because I transmute and I alchemize, it's not something that I use today in order to gain anything. Now, I will use my story as my testimony, as to what I've been through, and how narcissism is something that I'm very educated on and well aware of since I was a child. And oftentimes, being as though the narcissist is always using childhood in order to manipulate in various ways, there have been times that I've had to start my story starting young, but it's something that's rare that I want to talk about my childhood. It's not something that controls me today. It's not something that makes me navigate life in a negative way. It is what it is. I've healed from it. And it's not something I carry shame or guilt due to someone else's actions. Why should I carry that shame and live in something that someone else has done, and something that they reaped the karma of, or they needed to heal from? It just doesn't belong to me. I don't resonate with it anymore. But the narcissist, um, will continuously use that and tell people that I did things when we were young. And it was actually the narcissist who was a bit of a bully when we were in school, didn't want me with the rest of the group. And it was a very subtle thing, like I mentioned in my first video. Um, Now, normally you want to hang out with a family member you go to school with. The narcissist wanted to put a wedge in that. Even when we were young, it's always with the females and just controlling everyone in the group. Um, when a narcissist has this extreme insecurity, they pretty much dump this off onto other people. And you find yourself reliving your own wounds that you've healed from, or maybe some people haven't, and he'll rehatch those wounds in order to use them against you. The narcissist doesn't take no for an answer, and he will employ the people around the target in order to change your mind to view things differently, claiming that you're not seeing things properly, that you're still in your own childhood wounds, pretty much projecting. You're not seeing the picture right, and how they're here to help you. They're here to, this is while they're abusing, manipulating, having people stalk and harass you, gaslight you, and even try to unalive you. Now, with that being said, I want to touch on a story here. In 1990, my teenage brother, I was a bit older than him, he was stalked and harassed by a teen narcissist. Ironically, he looked a lot like my current narcissist, current stalker. Um, he was uh, stalked for about a year. And this is a teen who used to make gestures pointing his finger to his head, um, suggestively as to what he was going to do to my brother. Now, no one understood why this person was stalking my brother, not just because he's my brother, but he was a very good looking young, charismatic and genuine person, loved animals, and pretty much was a homebody. But at that point, he started to hang out, and it was with older guys. There weren't a lot of teens in the area his age. And I don't know if he met this teen that unalived him in 1990 in school. Not sure how that came about, but my brother did complain about the stalking and harassment, and my brother tried to ignore it and report it. He talked to family, friends, school, and there wasn't much that people could do. And I feel like he went unheard. And I remember listening to him and trying to find ways to help. Um, and before you know it, the narcissist teen found my brother parked on a corner with a friend waiting at a red light. And this teen pointed what we say on YouTube, pyung pyung, to his head and took his life. At that time, my brother's girlfriend was pregnant um, after he was unalived. We found out that he left a daughter behind. And not knowing what narcissism is or mental illness, I'm not claiming to be a doctor or professional, but it's something that you learn along the way that these type of entities, these energies are around us every day. Now, it doesn't take much to anger a narcissist or for them to target you. So sometimes you can't even find the original reason why a narcissist targets you. A lot of times the targeting is simply due to how some people shake up a narcissist's demons, and other people who aren't necessarily narcissistic but have a lot of things needing to be healed. And some of them are full blown narcissists and don't know it themselves. And just like the narcissist that stalks me, it's not something they'll ever seek help for. They'll just continue to self regulate their emotions through other people and tactics. Throughout the years, anything that could affect you or feeling hurt, doubtful, make you feel smaller. For example, the narcissist would tease the unaliving of my brother throughout the years and using that as a fear tactic. What's strange to me is that so many people, be it friends, family, coworkers, whoever community, um, how a lot of us are not educated. A lot of us do not know what to look for, the signs, the red flags. This is a deep-seated hate for anyone who decides to think for themselves, to live genuinely. For anyone who does not play along in the role that they place you into in order to continue the delusions that they live in. Um, that's hard to detect in the beginning for those who are newer. Those who begin to see the red flags and understand, they begin to fall off. And this is why the narcissist finds himself alone, possibly exhausting a lot of people out of their lives. So they use you as excuse me, to recruit newer people in order to help them feel validated, in order to regulate their emotions, in order to um, feel like they exist. A narcissist knows there's power in numbers. And this is why the devil needs a legion and God only needs one or a small group. Recruiting as many people as possible helps them to believe that they will reach the desired results they're hoping for. And it's more so not about you. It's not about the target. It's not even about those recruited. It is about the narcissist working out their own self-hate or insecurity, whatever it is that it may be. And it will be a multitude of different things that are the reasons why they do what they do. And personally, being spiritual, I believe, is very demonic. This is why it's confusing to people. This is why there's so many holes in stories or narratives consistently change. If you are beginning to see truth or the truth is surfacing, he will quickly come in and change the narratives. And this is a person who is keeping track, possibly writing this down, recording it somehow. They keep track as to who they told what to. And it's like a full-time job, a full-time crusade. It's entertainment. It's a game. Other people's lives don't matter. A narcissist is highly competitive. He's even written a song called Competition for Recognition. As a song that he presented to me when we were young, and he takes full pride in it, and it completely describes his life. He places people into this competitive role. I've noticed this pattern quite a bit and consistently everywhere I go, where he will convince people that I think I'm better. And this is because this is how he views me. That I think I'm better, I think I have more, or I think I'm smarter, whatever it may be, but creates this competition where others are copying you, others are competing. If you have a certain type of car, they'll want to one up you, or if you live in a certain home, they'll copy that home, or whatever it may be, your talents, your words of wisdom. They make people go into this competitive thing where it isn't just like a inspiration. It's more of a hate, where you don't even know you're in this competition, but others begin to hate you and compete in such an extreme way where they're trying to stop you while one-upping you. And the thing here is how can you up one yourself, or create this thing where you are better than someone else, doing better than someone else, while you're trying to stop another? Because the way I view it is, if you're not gaining this normally with a healthy mind, and you're doing it in such a way that you have to delay or stop someone in order to place yourself above them, are you actually above them? And that's I don't mean any harm with that. It's not an insult. It's just the way I view it. And I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I'm just living my life as normal. Most people are living inside the narcissist's mind. When you're speaking to people, you're speaking to the narcissist. Creating a competition is a clever way to keep people on board, to keep people engaged like a game. Like as though it's sports, and they want to win that ring of being on top. And it's sad because you're trying to exhaust someone else, and you're trying to diminish someone else so that you can feel better about yourself. And the whole time, honestly, these are some of these people I have helped. Some of these people I praise when they're doing well. I hand them their flowers. I'm happy when other people are happy, because this means they're not going to be against you if they're happy. And I've noticed this pattern: when people are not happy with themselves, they tend to target others who seem comfortable in their own skin or seem happy within their lives. And be honest with you, being a chosen one, we could live in a cardboard box and find the divinity in it. Um, we're not interested in competing with people because you're pretty much allowing life to pass you by, and you have this focused agenda to one up others, and not actually stopping to smell the flowers yourself and enjoying or being grateful for what you have. How is it living if you're not noticing what you have achieved already? And most of the times, what we have achieved is more than many other people in society have achieved. And, it's kind of indicative to how there are families and children and people who live in other countries, and they don't have half of what we have. And they're like the happiest people. Now, when a narcissist is tunnel vision, they become addicted to things. Um, Stalking someone is an addiction. So if you can imagine 16 years worth of a person targeting you, you have to learn how to get around it. Focus on keeping yourself intact. As you lose people, they show you who they are. And though it can be heartbreaking in some cases, I alchemize that as well, and transmute, because I won't allow what the narcissist is doing to change who I am or to stop how I'm navigating my life. I have to put it to the side and remember that is part of duality. And if I stop and focus on the people that I loved, or the people that I've helped, and the people who I thought were there for me, that is further distorting my own life. I can't continue to take time to fix things or to explain things, or stop or delay anything in my own life, because that is under my control. Now, if others allow this, I can't control that either. In the beginning, I tried to educate people and tried to keep things intact and save relationships. And you find yourself spinning your wheels because not many people are educated on how this works, how we are surrounded by narcissists every day, and they're consistently tweaking your life and maneuvering things to work in their behalf. And sometimes it works because we don't know what to look for. This is why it's important to heal our own wounds. This is why it's important to focus on our own goals. Even though we interact with other people, there is a certain type of balance that there should be between those relationships. The pouring of each other's cup and reciprocity, and being able to discern what serves you. And a lot of times we're disappointed by some of the relationships in our life, but we're here to lose ourselves in order to find ourselves. We're not here to find other people, because in fact, you would be losing yourself and never get the chance to live your life fully, find out who you are, or enjoy it. Now, people have said, oh, your sister's involved, your aunt's involved, your uncle's involved, your cousin's involved, your landlord's involved. Everybody's involved. And this is, now that may very well be true here and there. When they speak about my mother being involved, my mother's no longer with us. My real dad is no longer with us. My brother's no longer with us. So, if anything, it may be family members who are involved, may be married into actual blood family. Some of them are extended, and most likely people I don't even know who have been manipulated or paid. Many times people don't know others who are involved, and the narcissist will keep them doing his dirty work separately. But when they create a group, it is a hive mind thinking. The narcissist knows that a lot of us in society are hive mind thinkers. We follow. We're not leading enough. And leading doesn't mean to be mean or controlling, but just leading in a self-composed way where we are contributing to society. And I feel like the narcissist, well, not that I feel like, but I know, the narcissist once told me that telling the truth is weak. This is a person who, whenever their mouth is open, they're lying, they're manipulating, they're setting something up, not for you, not for anyone else, but self-gain. People are merely checkers, the checker pieces on their game. Now, taking the word game, a game board, narcissists are very bored with their lives. The things that they're saying they have accomplished may not be true. Now, I don't look into details in the narcissist's life. They want you to do that. They want you to care. They want you to validate them. They want you to continuously tell them how well they're doing, tell them how great they are. And this can be exhausting, because when you are in their life and you are genuine, or you're a friend, or those who are in a relationship with them, those recruited, those who think they're friends. Narcissists don't keep friends. They keep people who validate their delusions. And you find that out in time. When I use the word game board, the word board is in game board. They're extremely bored. So they create these games and illusions that keep them entertained. And it's such a tunnel vision type of way of being that it's mind-boggling when you can look at this from like a sky view and see the details and how people are maneuvered, how people are discarded if you don't play along with the game. Now, they can grow this game, like the narcissist said in a comment. A lot of times his hoovering online, which is another thing. They use social media as their entertainment. They live on social media trying to control things and maneuver things in lives or in comments. He's telling me things unbeknownst to other people because they don't know what to look for, which is called dog whistling. Dog whistling is when they are saying something and only you and the narcissist understands. And that was taken from the term dog whistle, where there is a particular type of whistle where human beings don't hear it, but the dog does. So this tactic is used to bully me, to try and fear-base me, harass me, right under our nose. Matter of fact, when he's recruiting people, This is something that's done under everyone's nose. You're looking straight into the eyes of the manipulation, but you can't detect it because they're using double speaking. And the human mind is not equipped or ready for that type of manipulation. You're not expecting it. A lot of targets, and some of them are a few within a group that I run twice a month, speaking on these types of subjects and also offering um, different techniques in order to cope and to stay grounded and focused. Some of these people tell me how they had to self-isolate because it's taught in the world of narcissism that you have to detach, not communicate or engage with anyone who is triangulated in with the narcissist. They have this ability to take over minds and use mind control, all types of manipulation tactics. And they create such hate for their target. And you may have never had any issues with some of these people. And in fact, the things that you say within defending yourself in the beginning were due to how people were already gaslighting you, or they already treated you poorly because they operate a certain way. And so when you complain or you defend yourself, it's taken back and used as a weapon. So they consistently create this pitting of people where you will remain hostage towards trying to fix things or put out fires or trying to explain, because it's something, again, it's in your view, hard to detect, and it's meant to make you look crazy, meant to make you appear like you're inside your own issues. This is why he's consistently creating these negative thoughts with people about me in order to make you look distorted so that I can self-isolate. Now, being a free bird, I don't completely self-isolate, but I do detach from anyone who the narcissist has under his thumb, because this would mean that I would consistently have to go back, explain, or um, a narcissist wants you to squirm, crawl, and beg to be understood. And this is how he places you into your negative emotions. And that will delay you. If you fall for this tactic, it will delay all the positive, beautiful things that you could be creating or moving forward with. So I'm happy with less if that has to be the case. If people are misunderstanding me, some people misunderstand you on purpose because they actually like that the narcissist is harassing you so they don't have to do it. This makes them feel like they have one up on you, because if someone else is delaying you while they're moving forward, this helps some people feel better. It's sad to say, feel better about themselves. There are people who genuinely are just a little naive to the manipulation. Many people aren't ready for it. Some people are enticed by money or feeling a part of something. And because so many people are lonely today, even if they're surrounded by many people, their loneliness subconsciously has them join this negativity. I want to remind people that narcissists are extremely distorted. I keep using the term tunnel vision. It does not change. And anyone intertwined in their life will eventually experience something negative. If you are complying, you will be treated well, because the idea is to treat everyone well and feel like they're gaining a new friend, or they themselves who are recruited feel validated, even if it means to hurt someone else, or paid. Now, that's what causes some people to self isolate it, because a lot of people do have their own self gain agendas, or maybe they're upset with you for their own reason that's hidden. Most people today do not want to go deeper into being honest and genuine and heal things. So they rather take the easy way out and just join others to hate on you, even if they don't have anything solid to back this up, because I haven't done anything that warrants for me to be harassed this way by the people in my life. So it leads me to believe that there's something deeper within that person that either needs to be healed within themselves, or they have this hidden disdain for you. Something is there. I don't believe it's just that they're receiving payment to do the narcissist's dirty work. So you tend to, think to yourself, I thought that this was something that it wasn't, or the love was never there, the care was never there, it was never family, it was never a friend, it was never something that was going to serve me anyway. And that within itself is an illusion, because you feel like you wasted time putting so much into others, being yourself and genuine. And chosen ones, we tend to view people the way we view ourselves. We look for the good, we look for the light. We tend to forget, because this is who we truly are, we tend to forget that not everybody has the same heart as you in different levels. Basically, a lot of us, a lot of people are only conditioned to navigate with the level of their understanding. They can only understand due to the capacity of what they're conditioned into. So a lot of times you can't expect too much, because we've all been there. We've all have been conditioned or wounded, or the world teaches us to be self-seeking. And oftentimes those intuitive people, we see everyone the same. We are a balance, where it's not that we don't want to see that people can be cruel. It's more so we know that people can be cruel, and we accept people with their wounds. We accept people where they are. But when they begin to realize, for example, someone said something along the lines of, I wish she didn't change, or I wish she would go back to how she was, and I don't understand. And what they are aware of now is that, or they should be aware of, is that I never change. I was always this person. They just couldn't see me clearly back then. And when you detach or you separate yourself, they now are paying attention, or they're hearing what you have to say. Now they're learning who you always was. And we tend to focus on the negative that we think is happening, or we think happened when we weren't paying attention. So the narcissist kind of piggybacks off of the fact that many people do not get to know each other properly, or deep enough to understand things at levels that will help us navigate, as a team, as family, as friends. The narcissist knows this. He's always saying that the world is cruel, and they live by that. And they decided to work for the dark side because this is their way of thinking. And we are what we make life. We basically, what we put out is what we get in. And I believe since the narcissist is consistently having this agenda and self seeking, this is why he views the world this way. Now, you can't sit and actually have a healthy conversation with a narcissist. They can try to fake it, but it will eventually lead into this distorted way of thinking that he wants you to subscribe to. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's a little creepy that you have someone, and I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this, but anytime anyone says anything positive about me or being as though they compromise technology, they can hear when I receive a compliment, or it could be something very simple like, oh, you're a genuine person, or I feel good when I'm around you, or just anything. It enrages the narcissist because he wants the world to view you and others the way he views you. If he's upset with you, everyone else has to be. And he'll make sure of it, creating scenarios and situations where people begin to view you a certain way. And what that is that the mind only records, it's conditioned to record, and biologically that's, you're collecting information. This happens in a worldwide scale where what you're hearing, you're taking it in, and it becomes reality, especially if they're consistently pushing a certain idea. You begin to take that in as reality if you're not thinking critically or thinking for yourself, or allowing the world to delegate how you view yourself and the world. And sometimes this is done subconsciously, and that's something that I've never been a part of. I question things. Um I'm self-focused, even though I could be there for others. I don't allow the things I see or the things I hear to affect me or enter my system, so much so where it alters how I'm moving in life, which is indicative with how many people are moving according to how others respond, or to how others move, or what brings in that validation, attention, or feeling accepted. If we wait on the world to feel accepted, you're missing life within itself. It's just, I I guess because I have a certain way of being, that at times I look at the situation like a sky view of everything 360. It's mind boggling to me, probably because this is who I truly am. And the narcissist hates that, often saying how I view the world with rose colored glasses. Now, I can choose to wear the rose colored glasses because that's how I feel inside. It doesn't mean that I cannot see through the rose colored glasses. Rose colored glasses, the narcissist means, or what he's trying to say, is that I view the world in a light way, within the light, in the positive. And many times people think that you're not aware, that you're not paying attention, that you don't see and hear things. I do. I see everything. I hear everything. I read between the lines. I can discern things according to what people are not saying when they're speaking. It's a gift that chosen ones have. We can see behind the smile. Um, when people pretend to have it all together. Now, that is not a judgment because none of us have it completely together, some of us more than others. And I Give people that grace. Why I accept you as you are, but when you're taking someone for granted and it becomes hurtful, and you've come into this new empowerment where you're not afraid to be alone, or you're not afraid of what people think of you. There is a freedom that comes with that. And this is when you're able to just let everything go. Anything that doesn't serve you, because you feel like you're living more. I mean, a lot of people look at quantity rather than quality. I'm one who views more of the quality rather than quantity. Now, of course, all humans want certain things, and you may deeply desire something and wish the outcome was different. And that kind of strengthens you, because when you care about someone so much and you want it to work, or you want to be able to heal and left alone to your own, to handle your own relationships your way without others trying to control it. I don't allow it, but I can't help what other people do, and it takes two to tango. So this is why chosen ones spend more time and enjoy being alone, but everybody wants that um, love, that feeling of love, or that relationship or communication. This is exactly why chosen ones, many of them find themselves not necessarily completely alone, but it's hard to find people who understand you, who can navigate through things with you. Doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect, but you're enjoying with the understanding that it is what it is, and there is a duality that you're understanding. So that's hard to find, because people, are either extremely to the left or extremely to the right. Narcissists see things in black and white. They don't see the gray area. And when they talk to you, they may touch on it because they know you're looking for the gray area, but they're always operating from one extreme to the other. There is no middle ground of self-reflection or anything that points to healing. And they will pretend, or they may even apologize and don't mean it. They may do anything that human beings are expecting with healthy thinking. But there's still always that underlying agenda to get you to put your guards down, get you to a certain point where you let them in. And here's the weird part about it, is that if you let a narcissist back in time, they will literally tease you for allowing them back in. They will literally call you dumb for allowing them back in, because remember, they have this God complex, and that's not going anywhere. It's who they are. It's their default setting. This is why it's classified as a mental issue and being studied as a demonic energy. The sad part about it is that a narcissist can anger others to the point where they're living inside the narcissist's mind. They're living in that same hate and projecting that same hate onto you. For some, they don't even know you. Excuse me. Which is strange to me, which leads me to believe they're either being paid or they're not strong enough to think for themselves. Like-minded people will come together. We gravitate towards people we are most alike, or scenarios or situations that we, find our comfort zone. And we all have the ability to tap into that self-reflection, or working together, or even if you're not working together, just singly, individually, just going within and discovering why we could even be recruited or fall for this. But for many, that's seen as a vulnerability. Being able to admit our wounds, or being able to do the work to heal is seen as a vulnerability. Telling the truth is seen as a vulnerability. Being kind is seen as weak. Telling the truth, the narcissist believes that's weak. And you have to remember that this is a person with toxic masculinity. So that further pushes the narcissism because they believe they pretty much don't like women. Now, you won't experience that unless you're in their lives every day or a target of them, but they're pretty much use the opposite sex, um, and the way a woman moves differently than men, but it's all the same because we all have male and female attributes. But the narcissist knows that the human experience, females will do certain things and males will do certain things and think a certain way. For example, they use the bros before hoes with men, and this is to create a soul tie and get you in the same wave of thinking with another male. And for females, they'll try to poke at competitiveness with another woman, or their insecurities, and use that against them. Um, Now, I pretty much normally get along with everyone. Um, I've leveled up a little bit only to protect myself, I guess. Um, I don't, we all judge something, but I don't judge anyone where they are in their life. I pretty much just look for being treated with the same respect that I give to people. So, when you go through this type of harassment, you tend to level up with people, be it men or women, who are self assured. And even that is twisted by the narcissist, where he will say, oh, she only wants to be around these kind of people and she thinks she's better. So she only goes towards people who have money or people who have things, people who are bougie. No, not at all. I like down to earth people. These types of situations pushes you towards certain kind of people. And so it's viewed as a negative by others who don't see their own worth. I'm comfortable around people who have nothing or little or more than I do. I see everyone pretty much the same, which if you look at this in a biblical standpoint, where Jesus hung out in the whorehouse and Jesus hung out with the tax collectors and Jesus hung out with good people, the church people, or people who didn't believe, or whatever it may be, he did not prevent himself from communicating with everyone and understanding everyone's point of view or where they are in life. But it seems like also he gave grace to everyone and everything, regardless of where they are. And that comes with a deeper understanding of the human experience. But at the same time, how are you going to communicate and hang out with people who are trying to set you up and constantly have an agenda? And there's no true, genuine, mutual, soul based communication. Is always something. Why would you want to be around people like that? Because, I mean, it is the human experience, and humanistically, you want to experience good things. And it's strange how people don't understand, well, it's because of the way I'm behaving. It's because I'm in my own inner dialogue that's negative, or maybe I did enough to her where, of course, she's not going to want to be around me. And then they teeter in and out as to they want to attack you or judge you for protecting yourself due to them attacking you in the first place. which is more distorting of your reality. And people begin to look weirder and weirder when they do this, because they're not, the mind is not connecting that there is an action and a reaction. Most people are going to protect their lives or their quality of life. And this is the biggest distortion from a narcissist, is that they do not connect the dots. They refuse to, because again, that is connected to the God complex. People like that are highly dangerous, because it becomes worse and worse. And you find yourself protecting and defending yourself from someone who is so tunnel vision. There's no point in being in their lives. So they do come to this understanding that, okay, I'm doing this, so let me switch it up. Let me change the narratives. Let me pretend that suddenly this healed good person. And that also is a trap. Every single move, every single word has an agenda. And most people don't wrap their minds around the fact that this is happening. It's like, how can somebody be that way? He can't be that bad. Or you're looking at everything, the wrong way, or you're looking for the worst case scenario. No, this is not with everyone. This is with a narcopath, a narcissist, a sociopath. It's different from your average everyday person who is working, within their journey on healing and discovering themselves, and they know better and do better. With a narcissist, it gets worse with age. Why would you want to do business, any type of relationship with someone that you're going to constantly be miserable around them? Also, anyone who's trying to force you into their life is not for me. And I'm sure it's not for you who's listening right now. No one should force you to think a certain way, be a certain way, force their way into your life. Like, that is so crazy to me, that people do not see what is wrong here. This is a person I knew back in junior high school. We haven't seen each other in 35 years. There was never any dating. There wasn't anything in order to warrant what's happening. If you do your research, there's not much that you have to do to upset a narcissist, other than make them feel like they're your God. Genuinely caring about someone, feeling good around them, or loving someone, you will communicate that, because of course, when you care for someone, you're interested in doing life with them, communicating with them, seeing if they're okay, feeling good when you're around them. But when you don't love someone, you don't care for them that way, you already know what business would be like with them. You should not feel obligated or forced by society. And this is what he's doing, basically using society as a weapon to convince me, or to help force me into their energy. I mean, I said no, and no means no. To me, this is like grapist mentality. And it's a mind graping by several people who don't understand how they're involved with that notion. Even some people online who are repeating, and I'm not saying anyone from the past 5 years, because newer people are coming into an understanding on how this works. I'm talking about people he has used online for many years, and manipulates or changes the narratives, and these people are repeating certain things to you that they're unaware that they're saying, in order to hurt you further, or to make you feel like he's just around the corner, or you want to try and change your perspective, because he's changed the narrative so much so that he's trying to win people over, and it becomes a game. If they are speaking in my behalf, where you're right to keep yourself safe, he sees that as a whole new game to win, and changing your perspective is part of winning. So I allow him to win in that respect, because people can say and do what they want. Again, I take what serves me and I don't judge the person, because I understand that we have a lack of education when it comes to these entities, when it comes to narcissism. Again, it's all around us every day, and it's strange because it's becoming worse, where these entities aren't hiding anymore. They're out in the open talking about what they want to do to you, and they know that they have people blinded. People are afraid to speak against it, and that's where the fear tactics come in, where people are now joining and pushing the narrative, or pushing abuse and stalking, harassing, bullying right under everyone's nose, and no one stops it. No one speaks against it, out of fear of either being the next target or not being part of the group. It's mind-boggling. But yet again, it is part of the duality. It is part of you can't spend your life trying to understand people. You have to understand yourself and navigate for what's right for you. Now, growing up, I was born and raised in neighborhoods where it could be a little rough, and by no fault of my own, people start problems with you, and you have to fight your way out of certain things. And I slowly moved out of those environments in order to find peace and raise my daughter in better areas. And I have the right to do that. And it's another thing a narcissist picks on, is you think you're better, because they didn't spend life doing the work to feel good about where they are, what they have, and what they've achieved. They like to pick on people who've done the work. Again, this person, I haven't seen them in well over 35 years. I haven't spoken to them in well over 16 years. So they also know my struggles as a child, and is trying to inflict more pain. And that within itself, to me, is insidious, because you know someone has been through so much, and you're trying to inflict more onto them. These energies come together, knowing that you have healed, knowing that you're in the best possible place, even though you're still learning, still healing a few things. You're pretty much comfortable. You're just happy in your own skin, and happy with what you've accomplished, regardless of what that is. And that's not a friend. That's not a friend at all. Narcissists don't have friends. They have accomplices. And you're not aware that that's who you are. They keep residue supply, people from the past, and trying to keep as many people on board to continue this distortion of your reality, to continue targeting you. And the reason being is because they saw that high light, that high ranking and anointing within you, and it becomes a challenge. Most people can't see it, but a narcissist pretty much wants their target unalived. They do not want you to exist. And if you do exist, they want you to remain silent about who you are. It's strange, because there's tons of people all over the place, but they choose to target one person. And to be honest with you, everyone involved is actually a target. Everyone is a victim, being manipulated and used in ways that they're allowing, unknowingly or knowingly. Now, most people are being trained to, most people who are targets are being trained to become bitter, angry, revengeful, hateful, defending themselves, constantly trying to affect your nervous system, And that is the whole idea, because a narcissist is trying to switch places with you. They're trying to destiny swap who you are. Once you are at a certain ranking and you know who you are, that's impossible because, like I said, once you're healed, you can't go back. Um, this is something that most people can't see in the beginning, and some can, and also may want to switch places with you. Also want to distort your reality so you don't feel good about yourself. And again, it's still mind-boggling that people do this rather than working on themselves. It's almost like they need a muse. They need a gauge or someone to look at in order to gauge how they're doing in their own lives. And if we continuously stop to do that, we don't take time for ourselves. We don't give ourselves our own flowers for healing or achieving things that we worked on by ourselves and not gauging ourselves on how others are doing. And if you are inspired by someone else, you do it silently. You do it in a healthy way, and you're simply just inspired. That's what I do. If there's something that I want to achieve, most of the time I'm focusing on myself and my goals. But if I do see something that I'm inspired by, I work towards things in a healthy way where, it's like you say to yourself, hey, I like that, or I'm inspired by that. I would like to try that new hobby, or let me give that a shot. And most of the times I do this on my own, if anything, and achieve it or attempt it. And if I don't like it, then I move on to something else. And that's done silently. I don't think healed people have to take from others in order to fill ourselves up. And that's something that narcissists do consistently. They inflate themselves by deflating others. For a lot of you out there, you may have experienced a lot of heartache and you begin to view the world differently, or you're still yourself, but you navigate differently. You know how to go towards what serves you. And a lot of times that leaves you more so alone or with less. But we have to remember that quality is better than quantity, though we're taught that quantity is more important. There are other people out there who feel the way you do. You're not alone. I'm sure that there's some people out there who sometimes feel alone. You're never alone. You have something greater than people and things coursing through your veins. And you have to give yourself the flowers just for recognizing that within itself. I'm here by the river. It's peaceful. I'll sit here and listen to music, or work on an art piece, and I don't have to answer to anyone with an agenda. I don't have to change anything about myself. I don't have to jog my mind on how to keep you happy or try to help you self-regulate something that you're working on. Now, given that I'm a healer and I do this without people noticing, I do extend myself where it's safe to do so. But at the same time, it's not that I like being alone all the time, but it's never something that bothers me. I think that that's also dangerous to a narcissist because they need consistent validation. They thrive in chaos, and chosen ones don't. You'll get to the point, if you are healing very much so, you will get to the point where you'll think to yourself, don't people get tired of negativity? Don't people get tired of suffering? And you do not have to partake in that. You will be seen as many things because you don't. It's not an insult. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you think you're better. You just enjoy peace. You enjoy being able to walk through the chambers of your mind freely, the chambers of your heart and soul freely, without any interruption. And it can be addictive as well. I found that the narcissist knows this. They know that you enjoy your freedom. They know you enjoy time alone. They know you enjoy your hobbies and your music, and they try to distort everything, even music. The narcissist has made songs, one being one about letting go and how they've already let go. And this is something he made many years ago and still does not let it go. He's also made a song about running with the devil. Now, if you know narcissism, they speak backwards. He's pretty much projecting and telling me that I'm walking through life with the devil on my back, being him. Running with the Devil song was supposed to depict a woman who likes to party, who likes to club, who likes to do drugs and drink and being promiscuous. Sorry. This is to, when people go onto his channel, they have a distortion of who you are and trying to force this character onto you, which does not remotely describe me. So let's say, for example, I go to one party that I'm invited to. They will get proof that you were at that party and use that one incident as, see, I told you, she's just a party girl and she's this or she's that. Or let's say you're seen having a drink. Then they'll say, oh, which I rarely do. But when I do, I like to have a good time. We all do. If you have a disagreement with someone, be it in your home or outside of your home, this is why they try to provoke reactions and fights or something for you to defend yourself from, because they want a chance to record something to further push the narrative that you're a certain kind of person. Everything is a sabotaging, framing, baiting, manipulation of others to help them gain this false proof of you. So this is why you have to discern and detach from certain people who already are on board with this agenda. So in the end, we worry about ourselves. We know who we truly are. And those who are immediately intertwined and truly know who you are, you're lucky if you have one person who you call your confidant. There's 3 types of people in your life. Those are constituents, comrades, and confidants. Constituents and comrades are helping you gain something. Some are against what you're against. Some are for what you are for that temporary time in your life. But when you have at least one confidant, you're lucky, because many people come across as your confidant and they're not. And when we come to that understanding, that is when we begin to enjoy quantity rather than quality. I'm sorry, quality rather than quantity. Now I'm looking out at this water, and it reminds me of something called ducking. Ducking is a term that was taken or created due to college students when they first start college, coming out of high school, and how they're nervous and they're trying to find their way and trying to set up the rest of their lives with a vocation. And they are anxious within. Is this going to work out? Am I going to do well? And within, they have a lot of turmoil. But on the outside, they have to put on this face and facade that they're okay. They're not nervous because some do not want to be teased for this, or targeted for this, or seen like they're going to fail, or just a lot of anxiety that we face when we're younger. So if you can imagine, the word ducking has the word duck in it. Ducks on the water, above the water, they look serene, as though they're just floating through life, but under the water, their feet are paddling really fast. You can't see their feet paddling really fast in order to get from point A to point B, but on the surface, it looks so peaceful and serene. A narcissist at times will look this way. Underneath, they're paddling, and on the surface, they will look loving. They will look like they have it all together. And this is in order to pull you in order to fool themselves that what they're doing is okay. And it becomes okay. Literally, what they think, they believe it to be true. Not everything that crosses our mind is true, but a narcissist will convince themselves so wholeheartedly that they're convincing to others. So when I look at the water, I think about how so many people are inside of this ducking. And I don't judge it. I give grace to it. But at the same time, when you learn self-worth, they are working out their journey and you're working out yours. You are never obligated to take on anyone else's journey in order for them to feel okay, especially if it's hurtful. It's different when you're helping someone and you know better and you do better and you know this, they have this growing type of character. But when they are extremely hurtful, it's consistent, it's never going to change. That is something that people learn with time, especially if you're in the direct line of fire of this. There's a lot more that I want to say, maybe at a later date in another video. As I go along, there are things that after 16 years that will arise in my mind, and I may speak on this, and most times you'll find me working from the duality of life, where I speak from both ends and help people understand the spiritual aspect to it, because though we're humans and we're spirits having this human experience, we tend to forget or not even touch on, and some people don't believe in the spirit even being a thing. So I will be touching on things spiritually here and there. I'm not very religious, but I am spiritual. I do believe in God. I do believe in there was a Jesus, but I believe Jesus was a chosen one. I believe that Jesus also was an energy. It was a metaphor to our third eye, and it was put into a human form in order for people to understand. It was, used as a parable, possibly. But my way of thinking, the fact that I'm not religious, people think that I have this strange belief system. No, I truly understand those who are religious and looking at it through a 3D form, the fleshly, worldly world form, and they're not touching on the spiritual aspect as to biblical stories, or it appears strange to some people because spiritual people are looking at it from a spiritual view. That to me is much more helpful because you're working from a soul level, not out of a book, or not within a building, or not viewing it through other human beings, but a direct connection to a higher power, which at the end of the day, knowing who we are and being connected will help us navigate in a more positive way with positive outcomes than it will if we're 3D based in the flesh, which makes us chase, seek, and navigate through the flesh. And that brings on a lot of problems. Though we all have desires, and those can be met in the proper way and still be enjoyed in the proper way. This is part of standing in duality and understanding both sides. So I will be touching on that. Also, this channel does touch on the arts. It will touch on the arts. I've healed through music and dance and artful ways of staying grounded. I believe we all have something that we turn to dump our pain and our struggles on, and kind of becomes therapeutic. So that's something that I've always touched on all my life. So, which leads me to talk about how the way I've done things throughout the years and had channels before where I use the arts or ways to cope with your naturally given gifts, your talents. I think we all have something that was given by a higher power that's therapeutic. The narcissist has copied this notion and said that I stole that idea from him. But I believe a lot of people on the planet use the same concept. It's nothing new. But I guess he liked how this works for me and it works for others. And the way I do this is unique. And not only do they steal my words of wisdom, my ideas, a lot of things about me, and tries to switch places. It's disorienting to others and actually to the narcissist himself, because if you can't find your own way, or what we all have something that we do well, and you don't nurture that or tap into that, again, to me is a compliment. If you are copying or trying to steal it, I mean, it's not right to say that it's yours and you're going to sue me for something like that. Many people do this. It is my personal idea and the way I do this. It's nothing so profound. I just tap into music from all over the world, dance from all over the world, art from all over the world, and normally give a description on how to use certain things or things in your own life to implement and helping you along your journey with a spiritual twist. So with those things being said, I want to close out this video. Again, this channel is to expose what I'm experiencing or have experienced, and hopefully it will help others and help people understand not only the details to my story, but the details within your own story, possibly. And hopefully it helps. I'm going to continue to move as normal, continue to be myself, continue to navigate my purpose now that I can navigate it a little better. And hopefully I get a good response. And if not, the idea is to also use this to heal, to speak my truth, and help others stand in their truth. Thank you for visiting, and anyone who has, again, given me even one flower throughout the years, you're loved. Thank you.